Hey, hey, we have a proposition, and the proposition that there's only 2 aunties this week. But we're still going to give you all the drag race commentary that you need. So get your cups ready for, and that's the Minoritea. All righty, boo. There's only 2 of us this week. We miss you, Dion.
It felt like the competition in Drag Race. It was just 2, and now we got 2.
That part. Or ANTM. I only have 1 picture in my hands. Sorry, Dion.
Sorry, Dion.
But she'll be back next week, and with all the next episode of Drag Race. But this is season 18, episode 7. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it's around this time in the competition where things really start to kind of shake out. Like, okay, you know what? We could really start to solidify who's going to be probably at the end and who's just going, okay, time to send these hoes home. I'm almost going to skip to the end. Were you surprised? And community, if you haven't watched it, spoiler alert, because we drop it to the end, and then we'll kind of get back to the rest of the episode. Were you surprised that it came down to Juicy and Vida this soon?
I was surprised. I don't think I would have put Juicy at the bottom with Vida, personally. Now, I knew Vida, and you said this a couple episodes ago, and I was trying to hold up for the girl. I said, at least make it to March 1st, girl. At least make it to March 1st.
She said, I can't.
And she could not, because Juicy tear her ass up. But we'll get to that later. Yeah. But I was not. I wasn't as surprised with Vida as much as I was with it being Juicy in the bottom.
That statement,
personally,
I thought it was going to be a little early for Juicy, but we'll kind of talk about it. But
yeah.
And then it's been interesting the last, it's probably maybe been 6 or 7 years. How it actually, maybe even longer, because it's probably been since Old Boy's last term, at how Drag Race tries to implement social awareness, if you will. And, they'll either have like the hashtag vote or like register to vote at vote.org and things like that, or they'll put up the little sign at the end of episodes. And this episode was called Drag Queens for Change. And so the main maxi challenge was them putting on almost sketches, I guess, for lack of better words, of political like commentary of both sides of the aisle. And obviously they made up the things. But do you think this is registering with the crowd, the viewers that are watching it? Or do you think we're already kind of like pretty socially aware and they don't need to add this into the show, the shows and things like that?
I don't think they need to add it, if I'm being honest. Okay. But I see where you're coming from, though. I think it was a missed opportunity, especially at the end, to talk about registering to vote and stuff like that. I think right now, because we're not in a primary or like a midterm moment right now, I can see why it wasn't added there, if that makes sense. Because she's consistently made sure when there's midterms or there's a primary, like the vote signs are out, register
and I
the
think
vote.
They had it in the bottom left corner. I think they had like the little hashtag throughout the episode that said like vote.org, but usually they have like the extra sign at the end too or whatever.
Yeah. So I think people are aware. I kind of talked about this on the podcast too. I think right now, people are hyper aware of what's going on. Like I think it's a crazy ass superpower to be walking around and to be oblivious to where we are right now in this climate. Like I don't know how you can, so that's why I say I don't think so.
You don't think it's moving the needle? Like part of me, like I struggle because like I'm glad that they're trying to find a way, especially like if there's younger viewers watching the show, to just keep it at the forefront that hey, there's a lot of things that's impacting the drag community. There's a lot of things impacting the LGBTQIA plus, community, the trans community and things like that. And trying to find ways to kind of put politicalness and social awareness into the show. So on one hand, I'm like, okay, that's good. But then on the other hand, sometimes I'm like, okay, they couldn't have written this better or, so I struggle with that, like if it's hitting the mark as well as they wanted to hit the mark. But I think at the end of the day, I think they need to do something. And I think that I'm glad, but the episode for me as a whole, I'm like, okay, it was trying to be funny. And I was just like, it wasn't written that well. And maybe it wasn't executed that well. Maybe the girls just didn't execute some of them as well. Well, that's going to
be my thing.
Needed.
I personally don't think a lot of the girls did that great.
Yeah.
I think honestly, my top two were in fact Jane Don't and Darlene. Like I think those two
Yeah.
did such a great
Yeah.
job at like,
Yeah.
yeah, and Mike, I think Mikey was good, but I don't know. I don't feel like she did anything that was
Above and
unexpected
beyond.
to. I think the writing of that character made it easier for her, whereas
Mm-hmm.
the other two had to have personality that matched it, that made it over the top, if that
Yeah.
makes
Yeah.
sense.
Mm-hmm.
So,
No, that makes sense.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
again, Mikey was good, but I don't think was better than Darlene or Jane Don't.
Yeah, I think those were. I think Jane, Darlene, and Mikey were definitely at least the top three for
Mm-hmm.
sure. And it kind of could have gone either way. And community for those that watch, obviously, it was Prop 6969, which was opposing foreign trade. So like the props of them are in theory kind of funny, like written. I'm like, okay, that could be funny, but like at the end of it, I was like, dang, it felt like it was kind of missed. But opposing
Mm-hmm.
foreign trade was Prop 6969. Prop Kiki was a bill to outlaw queen on queen sexual relations. Prop C was adding C for clowns, which was where Jane was in that one, to the LGBTQIA acronym. Prop for real was banning social media and look queens. And then Prop double D was making padding, breasts, and lace fronts mandatory for all. Was there one that resonated for you if you were in a competition that you're like, okay, I would have probably fought for this one?
I probably would have fought for the trade.
Mm-hmm.
I think the trade one would have been a fun one to do. I think they could have played way more into using Bruno and the other
Yes,
male model a lot more, because again, we're talking about trade, right? So, I mean, hey,
exactly.
and then I think I would have gone for the double D's as well too, because I think that
Yeah.
one was just, again, could have been played up even more. Um, like even with Mia Star, like I feel like she could have just taken it just a little
Yeah.
bit more, and it was still the same
Especially if you're
character
gonna
we've been
fight for
seeing.
it.
Yeah,
You're gonna put up a
exactly.
big
That
old
was my
stake for it,
thing,
and that's what you're gonna
and that's
do.
it.
Like, okay.
You know. So, yeah. How about you? Which one
And we'll
would you
see if
would have
that
gone?
bites her in the butt later on. Like the way they kind of highlighted that agreement between her and Darlene,
Mm-hmm.
is that a foreshadowing of something later in the season where it's gonna come back and bite me in the ass? I wonder.
Yeah, I don't know. All I will say though is in the last two episodes, Darlene has impressed me. The last three episodes,
I
Darlene has
agree.
started to impress me.
I agree with that
Now,
statement.
I still don't think she's gonna win, but I think you said it
No.
last week that she will be a all-star girl that will come back
Yes.
and will do great in all stars. Like,
1000%.
yeah,
And
she has a personality.
especially for
She's
like a
funny.
bedroom queen, like it's been
Yeah.
interesting because a lot of times you almost need to be out in these streets hitting the pavement of just like getting reps in, like any kind of
Mm-hmm.
sport, any kind of work, anything like that. You just almost need those reps to get it in your bones and your fibers. And for her to not be out in the streets as much as she used to be, that's what's really taking me aback. And like I kind of saw the spark and the charm early on. I was just like, okay, it just needs a little time. But she's progressing
Mm-hmm.
quite well.
Yeah.
And she
Yeah.
might be
Where
one that
some of the
sneaks in there towards the end. I don't think, like you said, she's going to win, but she might be one that knocks somebody out that you're like, damn, Darlene don't made it to the top three. That's
yeah.
crazy.
You know, where I see her leaving is if there's another, because we got the musical as well. We
Yeah.
probably have another like group challenge dance or something online. They're doing the Snatch Game next week, so that's
Yeah.
where we're about to see some shit. And they're doing a
Make or
Love Is
break.
Blind version of it as well too. So they're
Yeah.
doing it a little differently, which we said at the beginning, like what twists and turns were they going to do this
Yeah.
season. So
Yeah.
I am excited to see it, girl. And we clocked it too, didn't we? Say what she can't she pleaser was gonna do. We clocked it and said she was gonna do Lizzo.
Yeah.
It's
She might be the next to go. Like I was going to say that for the end. I was going to ask who's going home next. So we might as well say it now. Who's going home next?
can you please her?
It might be Can You Please
It might be Can You Pleaser. It might be Can You Pleaser. And I think it will boil down to, again, acting. And I feel like Athena might be in the bottom with her.
Ooh, interesting.
Because, you know, Athena. So here's the thing with Vida. Let's circle back to this week.
Yeah.
As I mentioned before, you know, Vida is a pageant girl, and you can tell that she has a package, and she's used to her package when it comes to different pageants and competitions. And so she's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna do this competition, so I'm gonna do this package, which is this look, it's this gown, it's this bathing suit, it's this performance, right? It's too calculated. The moment you give her something where she has to think on the spot, she doesn't thrive well. Athena is very much the same way. The moment you give her something to think outside of her box, she struggles. If you notice, most of her outfits on the runway have had the same silhouette: a coat with a flared skirt.
With a flare.
Yeah.
And it's very monochromatic a lot of times, too.
Yeah. We have not seen much of a change from her this season. And so, again, I think she might struggle because of this character. So I'm curious to see who it will be.
Yeah.
But
like Snatch Game really is going to be the week where you're gonna get the final three. Quite frankly, you're gonna be like, got it. I know who's gonna take it all the way home. Obviously, we have our front runners and things like that, but Snatch Games really reveals, for those that have been paying attention to what the judges have been saying to them all season, if they're willing to play with Rue, we're just paramount. Like, just make motherfucking Rue laugh and play with her. Know how to volley the damn ball. And if you don't do it, somehow that like kind of just rolls over to the next several weeks where they either get into their head or the judges are like, okay, they didn't want to play with Rue. Take this time for you to go, you know, kind of thing. So Snatch Game is really every season the make and break week to see who's going to make it at the top three. And I think it's going to reveal itself. But I agree that with Vida, you just saw it all season that like she excelled where she could control the day. So the sewing and things like that. But like you said, thinking on her feet. And I get that it's pressure to sit there in front of Michelle Visage. Like I always feel like I'd almost rather be in front of Rue than almost even Michelle, quite frankly. Rue is I know what to do with Rue. Make her laugh and you're good to go. Michelle's a little harder to read sometimes, and you don't know what's going to make Michelle laugh as easy as Rue in those kind of like sketches. So I think those weeks kind of always get the girls in their heads. But with all that said, you just got to be pliable. You got to be pliable and just take a chance at things like that and be willing to make yourself look stupid, quite frankly. Be silly and things like that.
But, you know, we always talk about, you know, taking sewing classes before going onto Drag Race, because you know there's going to be a design challenge. You know that you're going to be something where you have to sew. It's the same thing with improv. You know, like people don't understand being witty enough to, you know, think on your toes and come up with one-liners and stuff like that. Yeah, that's a talent. That is actually a skill, you know? And so that is something that some people have to learn how to be able to do. You know, like funny people are funny, but that's also because they often practice on how to deliver and to be funny, you know? Yes. So you got to work on that craft just as much. And I think, honestly,
that's a good suggestion. We've never said that before. Take an improv class or 2 or 3 or 9.
And especially as a queen, you know, because when you're a queen too and you're hosting, like your whole thing is to entertain. And one thing that improv does is it teaches you how to entertain and think on the spot, like to not have a script and just to pull things out of the hat. And I will say this because I've taken improv classes. It's hard. It's hard. And especially when you're doing it in front of people as well too, and you are letting them suggest what you're going to be doing and stuff like that. But then you start to really figure out how to get into it. And honestly, it's a lot of fun. So I would encourage people to try it
too.
Yeah.
Because you want to be a good scene partner in it. That's what you really find out is like, is that play with one another? Is that listening to one another? Because if you set them up, they're going to set you right back up. Like, and if you do that, like it just keeps building and building. But if you don't, bitch, both of y'all asses crumbling. You going home. Sashay away. And that's what we saw was Vida. And I was actually quite surprised with Juicy because she did well. She surprised herself earlier in the season with the other acting challenge. And this one, you're just like, oh, she started getting her head on it. And so it's just like,
yeah.
Don't have to work on it, Juicy.
But maybe back to Mikey Meeks, though. Maybe that's the credit to her because that's who she was the scene partner with the first time. And Mikey did give her, some great feedback on things to say and stuff like that. So, maybe when I think about it, maybe Mikey should have definitely won just because of putting those things, to play.
Mm-hmm. And after especially a week where you're in the bottom to kind of come back and do solidly again, that just shows, okay, you know what? This is not going to sway her too badly. Yes, I had a bad day, had a bad week. Let me get over my shit and like pick myself back up the next go round. And I like to see that intangible factor right there of figuring the shit out and just shaking that off and be like, okay, y'all thought I was gonna be out this bitch? Nope, watch this.
Nope, still here. Still here.
And one quickly before we kind of get into the looks and things like that, the receipts. Were there anything in the receipts of the Raider Queen that surprised you?
I mean, honestly, no. I mean, when I look at it, I mean, you can see where, having, Can You Please Her having, that first place, vote really got her out the bottom, And so that was smart on her to do that with Mia Starr to guarantee that she had one first place vote, because that could have been the difference between Mikey being in the her being in the bottom versus Mikey being in the bottom. Yeah. So at the end of the day, like some of them said, friendships do play a factor into how people voted. And I think you would be a fool to think that everything's going to be fair, because that's not how any competition has ever worked to Mand. Like, every competition has judges, every competition has an opponent, and so much of sports is subjective based off of who sees what, and people have different strategies. That's why it's called strategies, because there's multiple.
Plural.
Okay. So
I agree. Yeah. There wasn't anything too earth-shattering there. It kind of all honestly shook out the way that they were kind of scheming.
Yeah.
So we got privy. So obviously it was maybe news to them to see it. But yeah. And it was just interesting too, like Athena trying to make a moment about something. I'm like, girl, like you fought, like, girl, you don't need the screen time this week. Shut up. No, you just trying to make a storyline.
And you had already said it. Like, you were one of the few girls who directly said it in front of everybody. Anyways, this is how I'm voting. So don't ask me no questions. I'm voting for these two. They're 1 and 2. Easy peasy. I got to the stage and said, y'all made my job easier. I voted you 1 and 2. So we heard you say it twice. You didn't say it a third time.
Yeah, you ain't had to say it a third time. No. Shut up. All right, Mama Ru, what you wearing, boo? Let's see here. How we liking Mama Ru's outfit this week? It was the crickets. It's always this season. It's the wigs that throw it off for me. I think if she had in community, like we were talking, like we were sharing like some a couple seasons ago pictures in our group chat, and I was like, see, the wigs that season were so much better. And Jerrell's like, oh, you're right. Remember one of those pictures? She had the like almost crimped white hair wig.
Yeah.
I think if she would have put the crimped white hair wig with this outfit, we were like, oh, okay, that's kind of fire, because it goes with maybe the 80s aesthetic and things like that. It's the wig that's just constantly throwing me off. And so it's fucking up the rest of the outfit for me.
I don't even like the outfit. I don't like it. I don't like it. Now, she is, they brought out that season 1 filter for her, because she is blurry. Why are you so blurry?
Yeah. You right on that. We're going to hide them wrinkles today.
They sure did. Why she got a Michael Jackson nose? She got one of them Jackson noses in this photo too.
Right. Raven snatched the shit out this nose for her. She said, I want me she said a Michael 1994.
Okay.
Yeah, this is not my favorite. I don't mind Yeah. Let me just hush. I don't know. It's my favorite. So we're gonna play something a little different because we could get through it probably quicker just because it's only two of us this week. So we're gonna go through all the looks, but we're gonna give them either a sip. So sip means like it was fine. Slurp, like she ate it up, or you spit. You spit that shit away.
Well,
spit that shit out. I don't want it.
I'm not a spitter, so that's gonna be hard to say.
Well, some of these you might want to though. Let's start with Jane. Sip, slurp, or spit?
Honestly, it was a sip. Almost a spit.
For me too. I'm just confused by it.
I'm confused too. Like, I don't know what you're trying to go for. Like, this just I mean, it ain't ugly. But I'm like,
it's not ugly, but it's like I'm confused.
Yeah. Like I think I would have rather just done without the face part being done, and left it just a bodysuit here and not cover the face. I think. I don't know.
Because the runways, I could see right through you. So everything's like the shears and things like that, translucent. I just don't get maybe why she put this singlet on or whatever it is, the bodysuit. Like,
if it was a bikini, with this print underneath there, because I like this kind of like 70s kind of gown that she has on. So she really came out with this like this updo wig, and it had that bikini underneath, and she came out like one of those sexy kind of like 70s housewives type like little thing,
or like the 70s Barbie, 60s Barbie.
Yeah, I think that would have glammed this just a little bit more.
Yeah, I think I'm with you, but yeah, it's a sip.
Yeah.
All right. Juicy Love Dion. What we get? Yeah, I'm slurping it up too.
Girl, slurp, slurpity, slurp, slurp,
slurp. Yeah. Even though what was it? It might have been Raven and Raj I was watching where she said she looked like Mr. Burns. And just like she said that, I was like, I can't unsee it now.
I can't unsee it either.
I was like, I can't unsee it. She said she looked good, but she's like, just the way that hat is. It's like a bald head with the hair on the sides. And I was like,
you know what? They ain't shit for that. They right. They right.
But I'm still slurping it up. You look good, Juicy.
She did look good. Yeah.
I can't unsee it. All right. Let's go with Nini Coco.
Baby, slurp.
Slurp, slurpity, slurp.
Slurp. This is winner of the week for me. This is winner of the week for me, bitch. And she took the thing off the head and held it like a purse, and the face
ate it up.
Girl, I said, Nini Coco, I see you. Baby, I see you. I see you. I love this.
Yeah. Yeah. This is elevating drag to me. It's giving me the camp that I want. It's giving me, but the proportion, it was well like made. The makeup was still like snatched and beat. The little kid wig was like a little humor with it too. It was everything. It was everything. And even when she had the wrapper on, like it was translucent enough that you're like, oh, that face is still beat behind there. It worked. It just worked.
Yeah. This is winner of the week for me.
It might be my favorite look of the season so far.
Honestly, I would agree.
It might be.
I think this is definitely my favorite look of the season so far. I liked Vida's black and white a lot that she made, because she made again from the unconventional, and that was great to make from unconventional stuff. Right? Great. But this
is what you want from drag queens.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is what you want from a drag queen.
Absolutely.
So, Nini, I'm slurping this up.
Yeah.
Bitch. On the flip side here, let's see here.
Uh-oh.
What are we thinking about Miss Vita VonTesse Starr?
Now, okay. I don't know if you saw this, but I saw something online that she had quite a few pieces that didn't come in time and that she had to make when she got there. And I think this might have been one of them. Okay. If from what I understood. And I could see it because this is so turned down from what we see from her on her runway packages. The only time we've seen her this turned down is when she did the exercise one, which again, we know that again, that wasn't her original idea what she was going to do. Right.
Got it. Okay.
So this makes me think that this is kind of in that same camp. She had this planned, that planned, and those things didn't come, and so she was figuring it out.
Got it.
I just don't know what it was trying to read. I don't know if it's trying to read bubbles or, you know, some Dawn dishwashing soap or something like that. But
it's the
you know,
it's the soap at the top of the sink.
it really is. You know,
it's just sitting there. Yeah. I think I'm sipping still. I don't think I'm spitting it out.
Yeah, I'm still sipping.
But
it ain't ugly.
It's not ugly by any means, and the paint is good. It just
I like it.
I
like it more than Jane Doe's.
Oh, that's a good question. Ugh. Yeah. yeah, I guess. Yeah. Both of them are just fine.
Yeah.
So I don't know. One's like 7.1, 7.2. So yeah, it's fine. It wasn't the worst of the week by any means. Let's go to Discord, aka Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
I'ma sip it.
I just didn't. It didn't read like sheer see through to me as much as some of the other ones.
Yeah.
From an architecture standpoint, it looks gorgeous.
Yeah.
I like it, and I see the see through because you got the eyes. So never mind. So I'm seeing like the see through component to it.
And I guess the dress here is kind of sheer as well. So, and it's probably like she's probably going for like that nude illusion. Quite frankly.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I just don't know what she was trying to give with this. I don't know. Are you some form of like Digimon? Are you a Pokemon? Are you some type of anime character?
Right.
Like, because you're not somebody everybody else knows. So you must be somebody special that you know and a select group of few people know. So
yeah,
I don't know. Again, I'm a sip.
Yeah,
It's
a sip. I think Gaga would love this back in like 2011.
Mm-hmm.
I threw this in here. Let's just have a moment for Jamal Sims. This man's so fine.
Hey, Daddy.
Daddy. He's aging so well. He's been on the show for like damn near the whole run as well.
Mm-hmm.
He's just good. He's just good looking people. So that's all. All right. Let's go to Miss Kenya Pleaser.
That's a spit.
I'm spitting it out. I'm spitting it out. I don't want this Jolly Rancher.
Now I got 32 delicious favors of sweet delicious bubble gum. Whatever the song go, because just like that was a hot mess, that's a hot mess. So yeah. I just again I don't know what she was going for. No.
Like just no. The face, no. The makeup is pretty. Like, and that's the thing. Like, her mug and her hair choices this season have actually been quite nice. Like, I like her painting jobs. I've been liking her wigs, but it's just been the outfits for me have just not connected at all. There's not a single one this season where I'm like, there we go. And honestly, I liked her. I liked her political ad dress better than this.
Yeah,
that's where she actually looked quite nice during the political ad.
Yeah. How she look like both characters from Baps though? Says she don't.
I'm done with you.
At the same time.
How she look like both Baps characters? I'm done with you. You right though. I can't unsee it.
You can't.
Oh damn, can you? Oh Lord Jesus. Yeah, no, I'm spitting this out. Spit it out. I don't want it.
Yeah.
Let's go to Miss Mia Starr.
Sip.
It's a sip.
I see what she was going for. The execution, I think, just missed the mark. I don't like the underneath kind of like skeleton shirt underneath it. I think she could have played with something a little bit more sexy, given how she was trying to be in a very sexy kind of outfit, if that makes sense, with the thigh high boots and the short kind of mini skirt. So yeah, I don't know. It just felt like she was doing too much.
Yeah, I don't know. Like it's like one of these things is like I don't know what I love about it, and I don't know what I hate about it, but I just know it ain't there. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see her in like this whole episode, like because she wore two of the same wigs, just different colors, or one of the same wigs, different colors. I like seeing her in bigger hair because she loves her like a little wavy finger wave moment and things like that. And the proportion, I feel like the finger waves proportions throws off, just like when she be having like the titties and all that. It's just proportion, just weird to me. So I do enjoy seeing her in a taller wig like this. I love this kind of hair on her. The colors are cool together, but there's just still something that's just like it could be elevated somehow. And I think she's maybe another one that like when she looks at this season, she's gonna be like, oh, I kind of missed the mark. I could probably do X, Y, Z. I just maybe need a little more coin or time or whatever. And I think she's another one that will come back in the All Stars and really run away with it because it's just because she has the talent and the things like that. It's just the drag part, which is the paramount part of it. It's just been slightly off all season. It hasn't been terrible.
It reminds me of the big girl from the Goofy movie when Powerline is singing and she's like the big girl at the end because she has the green and black on, and then at one point she looked like she's electrocuted and stuff like that. Like that's honestly what this inspo kind of reminds me of, is like a little callback to the 90s to that degree.
He said all we need is Tevin Campbell singing the song. Okay, now. All right, let's go with Darlene Mitchell.
You know what? I'm gonna sip this. Sip this. It's not a slurp. I like the take on it. I like how compared to all the other girls, this is simple, and this is executed well. Simple compared to all the other girls. Now, one thing I don't think I like about it is that I feel like it could have been a little. I love drag. I like more. I feel like Michelle Visage right now. Like I want more. Oh no, that's T.S. Madison that was saying a couple of like, I want more. I want more. And that's kind of what I would have wanted from this. But as far as the theme, see through, that's perfect. I don't
1000%.
I'm not lost for interpretation. I know exactly what she is. I know exactly what the theme is. Hit the theme on the head.
I agree.
Just thought it was just low hanging fruit to do it.
Yeah. No, I thought it was a smart theme. Even execution-wise, it's almost there. But yeah, I think there's just maybe a little more campiness or a little just exaggeratedness that we could have had. But I love her brain. Like, I love that she's thinking outside the box. I'm loving that she's trying to push it. She might not have the resources and things like that quite yet. But ideas go a long way. And if you can see a drag queen, it's like they're thinking, they're trying to push. They just might need a little more time and things like that. And so I agree. Again, All Stars Darlene is going to be one that's going to be tough to beat because she's going to get experience again under her belt. She's going to get a little more coin, and that will allow her to really push the ideas even further and execute the ideas even better. And and she's starting to peak at the right time in this current season, that she might be one I'd be scared to get with Darlene towards the end, because she's going to have some idea that you're like, damn, she pushed it and I didn't. I played it a little safe. And a lot of times when it gets towards the end of the season, they're going to go for the girl that pushes it with something that we either haven't seen or haven't seen implemented in a way like this. So
the key with Darlene is she's going to have to make sure she stays out the bottom too.
1000%. 1000%. All right, what do we think about Miss Athena Dion?
It's a sip. Like, again, we've seen so much of this before already. Again, does it hit the theme? Absolutely. But I feel like this isn't, because there's so many layers to it, it's not as see-through sure that I would like to. Like the other girls, at least were like, you can see what I'm wearing underneath it, right? It was just layered so much that it just looked like a regular gown.
It's a beautiful garment. Like, I love that, like, it was lined in gold. So I was like, okay, like she probably spent some coin on this or took a lot of time to make this. It just is very matronly. Like she dresses very matronly each week.
She is a grandma.
You're right. And I can't talk to him, because if she a grandma, then bitch, I'm great grandma in this hoe.
Well, I mean, grandma in the sense of the family.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And she's just an older queen, I guess, of the season too, even though she's like 34 or something like that. So like it's a sip for me as well. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it by any means. It just didn't. It's not earth shattering either. And it's on brand for her. And I always struggle with her makeup sometimes. I think it looks actually pretty decent here.
Yes.
It some weeks almost looks cakey, like, and I don't know if it's like the way she's just painting for these lights or whatever. But some weeks I'm like, it's just not. It's not setting right for me. But here it looks all right. And then we will end with Mikey Meeks. I have a problem with the wig, and I saw this somewhere too. Because then I thought it when I saw it, they said how your roots gonna be in the ponytail as well. like your roots shouldn't go all the way into the ponytail. Like, I was like, I agree. It's just a lot there. This one, like, I guess she got the message. It's a sip for me. It's maybe almost too basic. Then it's just like a panty and bra and some in a raincoat.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah. Again, when I think drag, this is not drag.
No.
This is the theme of the week, and it's not drag theme of the week. Because if you think about kind of the material is very similar, almost like similar to like how Nini Coco did it with the candy wrapper, right?
Yeah.
Gave us a sheer through the candy wrapper, but gave us drag. This is like, hey, I'm going to take a clear poncho and then I'm just going to wear it with some undergarment underneath it.
Yeah. And so I guess now I'm almost like contradicting myself, because think if this is Jane Don't and we told her to put a bra and panty on potentially, or like a swimsuit, do you think it would have been looking this basic on her?
Yeah, because at least she had the hair, she had the accessories, she had the right. It just wasn't a clear or translucent like garment on, and it just showed what's underneath. She still had the shoes, she still had the whole other additional accessories with it. This literally is nothing.
Yeah, this is when you just go to the bar in New York City one night. Like,
yeah.
And the thing is, like, it's not that she looks ugly by any means or anything like that. It's just like, it wasn't just pushed.
Yeah.
There wasn't a push on this at all.
Yeah.
So like we already said at the beginning of the episode, it came down though to Miss Vida and Miss Juicy. And they did lip sync to Houdini.
Mm-hmm.
How'd you like the lip sync? Like, was it a fight or did Juicy just sop her up?
Oh, she mollywopped her. It was like, Sharkeisha, no, Sharkeisha. No, don't do it, Sharkeisha.
And Vida knew it from the second. Hey, we already just seen how good Juicy was throughout the season. We always know that she's a dancing queen. But Vida looked over there like 10 seconds in and was like, damn, I'm going home.
Right. Bitch, it was the back walkovers to me on beat. So controlled, and they were sexy. Here's the thing that I liked about her back walkovers as well too. This is also just a Jonas and me. They weren't back handsprings. They were back walkovers. Right. So you do a back bend, hands on the ground, and then you walk over. So that's a walk over. We've seen other queens, and she's done it before too, where she did back flips, right? So she did back handsprings. So the fact that she did them so controlled, and then she got at that second one and said, I said, she came to play.
Yeah.
And then she did that handstand, and then she went right into the splits from there. I said, honestly, like I felt bad for Vida because I forgot that Vida was even on the stage.
1,000%.
I was 1,000%. Whenever they showed up,
I had to go back and rewatch it.
I was like, move, get off the camera, get off the screen,
way, girl.
Get off the screen, move, girl, you have the way, move.
Like it's a bootleg movie.
Yeah.
Like,
sit down. Why are you in the front? Oh,
messing up my bootleg. Like she's one that is like, even when she has a bad week, it's going to be hard to beat in a, like, who's going to beat her? The only one that's maybe capable is Mia. the only one that's maybe capable. And even then, they tied last time. So like that's Juicy's superpower that she knows y'all ain't gonna outdance me. Y'all ain't gonna outperform me if I'm in the bottom two. So part of me is like, okay, you in the top three then. Like there's no one capable in this season. Unless it's maybe some spoken word thing that they haven't done in a while that they only did on All Stars, or some kind of change up pitch that they do for a lip sync that we're not foreseeing right now. But if it's like some kind of dance number, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Y'all hoes going home.
Yep, 1000%. If it's anything that's a dance number, she wins the competition.
Yeah.
If it's a lip sync,
the best dancer up there.
She's just gonna win. She's gonna win. So you better hope that you get a ballot. Because girl,
I have nothing. nothing. Because you're gonna go homo. Yeah.
But here's the thing is though, but she's
Spears,
also still very sassy
dance
though.
To it.
Yeah, she added that in there.
Yeah. No, it's there's just certain people that come on the show sometimes that that's your gift, and we are seeing your gift shine through this drag artistry in ways that is just unique to you, special to you, and that's her gift this year, and you see it every so often. And honestly, even as good as like a Georges is, I would put Juicy probably above. Like it's a different kind of energy dance that Juicy does. You could tell that like she's trained in dance.
Yeah.
Georges is just like she's just like boom cat girl that's like, oh, I just figured this shit out on the low and I'm just very good at it, which is just a whole nother shining star moment. Juicy's is like, I called her JJ early in the season, Georges Jr., but she's starting to actually craft a slightly different lane than even Georges did in her seasons, which is cool to see. But yeah, I'm putting Juicy in my top three. Yeah, that's my next question. Who's your top three now at this point in the season before Snatch Game?
I say my top three are Jane Don't, Nini Coco, and Juicy.
Yeah, I think that's my three as well. I'm a Nini stan. I love me some Nini. I said it early in the season. I'm a Nini stan, and I just love her execution. Her execution is so top tier. Yeah. So those are my top three, and it might come to and even in those three, I don't know, because Jane is not going to outperform Juicy in a final lip sync. So Jane is going to almost like excel. Yeah, or Nini. So Jane is almost going to excel so much in like a Snatch Game and everything else that is just like undeniable, like almost a Jinx Monsoon-esque like tier that, because if not, those are two people I would be scared to have to come down to a final lip sync for the win, knowing that my dancing is not going to be as good as them. So we'll see if there's any curveballs that they throw at these numbers. Because one thing the producers are good at is if they like a girl, they'll find a way to get her to win.
Yes, absolutely.
It might be a monologue that's coming that we don't foresee this season again because they want Jane to win, because she's been very consistent. But yeah, I think that is a very top tier three. And I think Darlene is trying to find a way to get into number 4. Darlene might be number 4 at this point.
I would agree with that. Darlene would be 4. Yep. What a good recap.
There we go. And we said Kenya next. Kenya, you go home, Snatch, we'll see.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord, can you get a bus pass? Well, community, Auntie Shar will be back next week to kind of help us recap episode 8. But thanks for rocking with us on this one. Anything else on your heart and mind here, Jerrell?
Nah, I can't wait to see how this Snatch Game turn out. It's gonna be something. I know that much.
Especially the new setup and everything. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. So anyway, community, wash your hands, your legs, and your ass, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye, y'all.